Hi, it's Michelle Mellon, author of Down by the Sea and Other Tales of Dark Destiny, and you are watching Dark Destiny Dissected, Episode 9. Today we are talking about Green Thumb. Green Thumb started out as flash fiction with nameless narrator and no real insight into his character. I think it took 3 rejections of the story with revisions that I'd done after each one before I discovered who Edward was and what was going on in his head. And the story evolved from a flash fiction piece into a slightly longer but still short story. Even though at the time I was writing it, we had a beautiful backyard garden in California. For reasons unknown to me, Edward's story lives somewhere in the UK where I haven't yet been. So I hope you enjoy this excerpt from Green Thumb, and we'll check out Down by the Sea and Other Tales of Dark Destiny to read more. Edward wasn't fooled. He saw Malcolm shove some of the formula into a pants pocket before clearing his palms. Edward began trembling. Reaching out to his side, he steadied himself on a nearby shovel handle he'd left upright in the dirt near the site of what would be a new rose bush. He took a deep, calming breath. He knew there were rules about what you could and could not use on your roses, but there were so many rules, and they changed each year. Edward took another breath. He was sure he hadn't broken any of them. Well, fairly sure. One thing he was 100% sure about was that he could not endure the humiliation of having to return any of the prizes and titles he had won if by some chance he had inadvertently broken any of those rules. The success made him real, made him something, made him matter. It was the only thing he had. Malcolm moved toward the fence. "You know me, I like to talk." Edward froze, certain there was a threat underlying the impish grin and the wink Malcolm tossed over his shoulder. Hadn't Malcolm entered some of those same competitions? Shaking his head in wonder as he always came in second or third to Edward. Wasn't he always hanging out with the other neighbors or chatting up folks down at the pub? Who knew what vicious half-truths he was likely to slip into one of those conversations? Edward debated for a split second, then nodded and pulled the shovel free of its resting place. As Malcolm gripped the French to haul himself back over to his yard, Edward gripped the shovel and swung with all his might. And so now there was the matter of the muddy mound to deal with.